Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Meet the Monk with Ajahn Sarayut on September 11, 2025. Today, Meet the Monk online or meet all of you today on our special day of our National September Memorial Day to remember those who died from the tragedy that happened on September 11 in 2001. Today, I would like to invite you to join me for our special meditation session on this very important day of our nation and our world at large. And before I begin our session, I want to express my condolences to Charlie Kirk, family, his wife, his children, who just lost their husband, their father, and from the shooting, from the violence that we experienced yesterday in our nation. And again, any form of violence should have no place in anywhere in the world. It will not bring any peace, any solution to any issue, to any problem. And I hope that we will learn from this tragedy. And as today we meet one another again on September 11 to remember those who we lost, who lost their life, and who we lost them from that tragedy. It should never happen in anywhere in the world. Today, I would like to invite all of you to join me for a special guided meditation. And then at the end, we're going to have some time to share our loving kindness to others with meditation on loving kindness. I think in our world today, we need a lot of loving kindness. We need a lot of love and compassion that will bring the world together with peace. It seems like there is violence around the world today. That's why it is very important that we should do everything we can to bring peace and unity, kindness to the world that we live in, so we can live with peace and happiness and with joy, and we can pass these to our next generation, to our children that who are going to take our place. Now let us begin with the very brief meditation instruction. Then we can spend some time to meditate together. And we have two goals. First, meditate for the world peace, which we truly need. And then we meditate to remember those who lost their life on September 11 and who lost their life to any event anywhere around the world from any form of violence and killing and hurting and harming each other. So first of all, let's go to what we want to do, which is we're going to meditate. And again, please avoid writing a comment while we meditate. And I would appreciate it very much that we can make a comment after we finish meditation. But during meditation, I would encourage everyone not to make any comment during our meditation. First of all, meditation is a practice to train the mind, to discipline the mind. It is a practice to purify the mind from any unskillful thought, unskillful, unwholesome thought. Then we can live with peace and happiness. In Buddhist spiritual practice, meditation is the center of the practice to free ourselves from the suffering and the cause of suffering that we are facing in our life or in any life. However, we can always benefit from the practice of meditation. At least it would help us to calm our mind, to ease our mind, to lessen our stress that we are facing in our daily life. So now let's talk about the technique of meditation. So in Buddhist meditation, we aim to cultivate concentration and mindfulness. Concentration is a quality of the mind that we can focus, we can concentrate on the object that we focus, that we concentrate, without moving our attention away from the object, or without undivided attention. That is concentration. That is the quality of the mind that we need to gain, we need to strengthen in order to get rid of our stress, and finally, to free ourselves from stress and suffering that we ourselves created. That is concentration. Concentration is also a one pointedness of the mind with the object that the mind aim to focus, aim to concentrate. And then we also need to train the mind to gain mindfulness. In Pali, we use the word sati. Mindfulness is paying attention on something that is happening in the present moment. And that is mindfulness that Pante G or Pante Guraratana wrote on his book that mindfulness is paying attention, paying close attention to the object without moving our attention away from the object that is happening in the present moment. To keep it short, mindfulness is the art of living or being in the present moment. If you are able to be in the present moment, then you are mindful. And according to the Buddha, when you are mindful, you are skillful, you are wholesome. You know what's going on in front of you. You know what's going on in your life here and now. And mindfulness will equip us with wisdom, with ability to discern whatever we perceive, we experience in our life. And we need to cultivate these two qualities of the mind, which is concentration and mindfulness. To be mindful is something to begin the day with. If you are able to be mindful, then it would guarantee you that your day will be a lot easier. But if you are not mindful to begin the day with, and you're not equip yourself with something that you need to face your day. So that is what we are going to do. We're going to meditate, try to cultivate concentration and mindfulness. Concentration helps us to focus on what we are doing, and mindfulness helps us to be aware of what we are doing, know what we are doing. And we need to know what's going on, what we are doing, and what is happening here and now. Otherwise, we're not living in the reality. The technique is we're going to use one of the nature that we all have, and that is our breath. We all have our breath. We all breathe in and out as long as we live. And we're going to use this common thing that we all have, we share in common, that we breathe in and we breathe out. So we are going to meditate on our breathing. And actually, if you look into it, breathing is the center of our living, the center of our life. If you have no breath, you have no life. You're not here. But when you are breathing, you are here, you are now, especially when you pay attention. And that's why we need to cultivate mindfulness. So we will know, we will always know what is going on, but we will learn from what is going on naturally in our life, in our body, that is breathing. Breathing is something that is happening all the time, right? Until we die. And many of us not even aware that we are breathing. So we need to learn to pay attention, and we need to learn to cultivate from something that's going to teach us to center our mind, to center our attention, to be in the present, and that is our breathing. So the technique is we're going to focus on the breathing, not the breathing that we feel here and at our nose tip, but we're going to focus on the sensation of the breathing when we breathe in and out at our abdomen. At our abdomen. That's where we are going to focus. That's where we are going to concentrate our mind on the movement, on the vibration, on the sensation, whatever you call, that speak to you, mean to you, you understand it. And in this case, we are going to call the breathing sensation. The sensation that we feel when we breathe in, the sensation when we feel when we breathe out, but they are different. There are two different sensations. First, when we breathe in, we feel, we experience the rising sensation of our abdomen. And then when we breathe out, we feel the falling inward sensation. And these two sensations always happen to our life, whether you pay attention or not. The body work itself, that is to breathe, to keep our life in the present moment. But we don't pay attention until we have the practice. And we are very fortunate that the Buddha was born over 2,600 years ago, and he discovered the truth. He discovered the practice that we nowadays call Buddhism. But actually what he discovered was the truth. And the truth do not belong to anyone. The truth is here and now. But we need to pay attention, and we need to see it. We need to equip ourselves so we can have the ability to see, to enlighten, to wake up from the suffering and the cause of suffering that we actually created. And we don't know how long already that we created. So we need this. And along the way, until we completely awake, just like the Buddha and many other noble disciples who became enlightened after him, we still benefit from the practice itself, that we can learn to calm ourselves, to ease ourselves, to bring peace to our mind, to our life, and also to inspire many others to do the same. You will feel less stressed. And then when you practice into a full capacity, you will be like many other noble disciples that who completely eradicate the suffering and the cause of suffering. But we are not going there yet. We want to learn how to meditate, and then you will see it yourself. Then you will further your practice as you see the benefit in the present moment. So we're going to meditate on these two objects. First, the rising sensation of our incoming breath, the falling sensation of our outgoing breath. We focus on the sensation, not the incoming or outgoing one, but the sensation, the experience itself. And how to put into practice, how to make it work is when you breathe in, you experience the rising vibration of your abdomen. So we're going to narrow down or to focus on the abdomen. When you actually experience that, you make a mental note. When you make a mental note, you cultivate mindful awareness or mindful consciousness. You are mindful. You are aware of what you are experiencing. So you are aware of that. If you don't have mindfulness, if you're not mindful, then you wouldn't know that it is rising or it is falling sensation. So meditation is not just like sit down, close your eye, and let your mind go as it like. It's to train the mind to work. And the work for the mind is to concentrate, to focus on the rising and falling sensation of our breathing at our abdomen. Okay? So two objects. And without thinking anything else, two objects, rising, falling. And then we are going to deal with our thinking mind, Thinking is a common for every one of us. But when we meditate, what do we do about it? It will make a difference. It will make a difference. So when we practice, especially when we begin to practice meditation, we want to be able to recognize, not to analyze, because we don't have a capacity to analyze yet. We don't have a strength to analyze our own thought. When we don't have a strength of concentration, then the mind will lead you instead of you lead the mind. You train the mind. The mind will train you or will manipulate you or manipulate us. That's what the mind does the best, to fabricate it, to process. So we need to train the mind. Since we have a wisdom that we need to train the mind in order to live with peace and happiness and joy. And then we will work toward to purify, to completely eradicate the suffering, the cause of suffering. So what should we do when we think while we're meditating? So the Buddha said that you need to be aware. You need to know what is happening. And with our mindful practice that we try to bring into mind, then you know, the first thing you know is you are thinking, not what you are thinking about. The first thing that you should know, and we know, if we are mindful, if we pay attention, if we are in the present moment, is you know you are thinking. But many of us, we don't have that knowledge to know. We just run after our mind, wherever the mind leads us. So we need the wisdom. We need a skill to first know where you are. So that is the skill that we need to strengthen. So we can strengthen our concentration. We can strengthen and build up our ability to recognize before we analyze. Many of us, we'd like to analyze rather than to recognize of what it is. So we are going to do that. So when you recognize that, how you train the mind to recognize that is you're going to make a mental note to bring the mind to see that. So when you are thinking, when you think of something, someone, some places, the first thing you should do, and we would do during meditation, is to know thinking. Use the thought itself to train the thought. Yeah. So when you know thinking, you're not focused on what you are thinking about yet, but you focus on the consciousness of you are thinking. This is different. Okay? So, and then we normally recommend that you do it about 3 or 5 times as maximum to begin with. Okay? So when you are thinking, when you realize that you're no longer on rising, falling, then it means that you are something else. You are somewhere else mentally, not physically. Then you know thinking. Then you need to know that when you note about 3 times, then you bring your mind back to refocus on the rising and falling sensation of your abdomen. There's three objects that we're going to train or we're going to meditate on today. The rising and falling sensation, and then our own thought. Yeah. If you get that, if you start with these three objects, then when your concentration gets stronger, when your concentration gets even more concentrated, when it's concentrated, it's more powerful. Then you can begin to expand your meditation object to something else. And according to the Buddha, we will focus on our senses. You know, there are 5 senses, plus with the mind will be 6, right? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, plus with the mind. What we call 6 internal senses, correspondent with 6 external senses. We will not go to that yet, but I want you to remember 3 things: rising, falling, thinking, 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 and bring it back here again. Rising, falling. Okay, that is the work we're going to do together. I'll let you prepare your position. First, try to find a place where you can enjoy your privacy, where you can sit quietly without any interruption. Traditionally, we sit with our right foot on the top of our left foot, the right hand on the top of our left hand on our lap. This is traditional pose for meditation practice. And then for many people who might have some physical limitation, medical issue, then if you cannot sit cross-legged or you cannot sit half lotus is when you sit with the right foot on the top of your left foot, the right hand on your left hand on your lap. Keep your body straight. Then you can choose to sit on the cushion, to sit on the bench, to sit on the chair. So that is our preparation, physical preparation. And then check your whole body. Keep your back straight upright. If you need something to support your hip, then you can use a cushion or a bench to keep your back straight upright. Relax your shoulders. Let your shoulder drop down freely along your body. Your arms, your hands, your leg, and your face. Gaze your face at your eye level. And we recommend that you close your eyes. Why this matter? Because if you keep your eye open, there's so many attraction objects around you. And when something attracts our attention, it becomes our distraction, right? So when something attracts our attention, it becomes our distraction at the same time. We try to avoid that, we try to minimize that distraction. So close our eye, you feel safe, you feel comfortable. That is a good thing to do, something to begin with. And we also recommend that you prepare your mind and your heart before you meditate, to ease your heart, to ease your mind with skillful thought first. And what kind of skillful thought that we should cultivate before we meditate is skillful thought of metta or loving kindness or loving friendliness. That you should bring, you should prepare your state of mind and your state of emotion with skillful thought. The thought of loving yourself, the thought of loving others, the thought of freeing yourself from the suffering and the stress. That will help to prepare your state of mind, not the thought of anger, hatred, and ill will that will aggravate your mind. You will not be able to meditate if you have that. And if you don't equip yourself with other knowledge to deal with your anger, then your anger will be your hindrance. So try to cultivate loving kindness before you meditate. You will see the difference. Okay? And what we normally recommend is say something to yourself and then wish that goodness, good thing that you want for yourself to others. For example, let's begin with, we're going to meditate for about, I would say, 20 minutes. I'm going to guide all of you for about 5 minutes. Then we'll let you meditate on your own, working on the 3 objects, remember? Rising, falling sensation of your abdomen. And you keep making a mental note on that. Any moment when you realize that you're not on the rising and falling sensation, you think of something else. Then you note right away, as soon as you realize, thinking. At the end of your 3rd or your 5th note of your thinking, bring your mind back to refocus on the rising and falling sensation. Okay? So let's begin now. First of all, find a comfortable position that you can cultivate concentration and mindfulness, which we need to begin with. Prepare your body, relax your body. And if you feel safe, you feel comfortable, then close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths in and out until you find the rhythm of your breathing, that you feel comfortable, that you don't have to breathe in long to breathe out long. Then stay with that pace of your breathing. And then bring a thought of loving kindness to your mind. May I be happy. May I be free from stress and suffering. May all be happy. May all be free from stress and suffering. And then begin to focus, to concentrate, and to be aware of your rising sensation of your breathing at your abdomen and the falling sensation of your breathing at your abdomen. And you begin to make a mental note to yourself, help to bring the object to your attention by making a mental note rising, falling. As you experience each sensation, each moment, one at a time. Relax. Your breathing will work itself to relax your body, your mind, will begin to form concentration, begin to form the one pointing with the object. The mental note that you are doing will help to strengthen your attention. Otherwise, you will find yourself think of someone, think of something, some places. And then according to the instruction that I just gave, you know that as soon as you know that you are thinking, make a mental note about 3 times, and at the end of your third time, you bring your mind back to refocus on the rising and the falling sensation. And you are going to see yourself doing this number of times. Now I'm going to let you meditate, work on your own meditation objects. Remember to concentrate, remember to be present, to pay attention. You may open your eyes. As you open your eyes, be aware of your seeing. We just finished about 20 minutes of guided meditation. And now we're going to close with loving kindness meditation. And that is the practice that we recommend everyone. Before you meditate, you should cultivate loving kindness, cultivate a thought of loving yourself. When you see how much you love yourself, when you know what love means to you, then you will cultivate compassion, kindness, not to generate any unskillful thought of anger, hatred, and ill will toward others. That is the natural practice that when you see for yourself what love means to you, how much you want to live in peace, how much you want to live in harmony, how much you want to be free from stress and suffering, then you will do everything, anything to cultivate loving kindness and peace all around you. So now we're going to close our meditation as we meditate today on another day of September 11, that we remember those who died, who lost their life from violence, from anger, from hatred, and ill will that one generates toward another. We shouldn't do that to each other. So let us generate skillful thought of love and compassion. Make it is the center of our living. So we can enjoy peace, we can enjoy happiness in this very present, but we don't have to come to this day again to mourn, to remember those who died from violence, conflict, war around the world. But in reality, that's what we are doing, because we don't have people who recognize that. We still have to suffer from ignorant action that some people have done toward another. So let us bring ourselves to the present moment. And I would like to read the teaching and the guidance from the Buddha himself, that he left this instrument of love and peace. But we have to play this instrument ourselves, so we can hear, we can experience peace, love, joy, happiness in this life. And this teaching called the Buddha words on loving kindness. And I hope this teaching will speak to your mind, to your heart, and start our work together to generate peace and happiness. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duty and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would rather reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings they may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart, should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the sky and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated and lying down, free from drowsiness. One to sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding by not holding to fixed views. The pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being free from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. May I be happy. May I be free from stress and suffering. May I be free from animosity. May I be free from anger, from hatred, and ill will. May I be free from oppression, trouble, and violence. May I look after myself with ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from stress and suffering. May all beings be free from animosity. May all beings be free from anger, from hatred and ill will. May all beings be free from oppression, trouble, and violence. May all beings be at ease. And now let us conclude our meditation together by joining our hands at our heart. As we conclude with the word Sarayut, the word Sarayut means excellent, means very well done. And we have done an excellent job to generate peace and love in our heart, in our mind. And we also being the inspiration for others to do the same, to create peace, to generate peace. So we can all live together with peace and love and happiness and with joy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you everyone for following our special meditation session on September 11, our national September 11 Memorial Day together. I hope that we will not we will not give up to continue our good work to create peace and happiness and make this world full with love, with compassion, and build the understanding, even though we might be different, believe different way, but we can communicate as long as we seek to do. May all the blessing be with you, and may all the blessing be with our nation, and may all the blessing be with all of us, wherever you are, wherever we are around the world. So we will help to generate peace and happiness together. Have a good day, everyone. May this day bring peace to all of you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And thank you, everyone, again. So we will see each other again tomorrow on our special, on our uh, Meet the Monk on Friday morning. And tomorrow we are going to talk about this memorial practice or memorial ceremony, because this month is our memorial month. Is that is the subject we're going to talk about, and I will invite knowledgeable monks to talk about this subject tomorrow. I hope you will follow to uh, to this program Meet the Monk. Today, have a good day, everyone, and let's uh, end this program together.